Hi, folks. I am Wang Bulo, 说半道. Today, I would like to give you my wild thoughts about what education in our new AI era can and should be. That's my personal thoughts. And I hope I could inspire some additional discussion on this topic. It's about breaking the Shannon limit in human learning. And I will propose that we use AI as a tool to enhance the Protégé effect and with the Feynman methods through this technique called juxtaposition. It's about angel and demons, how people juxtapose these things to open the third eye. Okay, that's just a really bit outrageous, but I like to, attract your attention on this. And bear with me. Let me see what I can do on this topic. A few days ago, I read this news, right? Are we smarter than our grandpa? A new study showed that our brain, in our age, not born in the 70s, are much larger in terms of a surface area, 15% larger. And volume-wise, it's 66% larger. So pretty significant than our granddaddies that born in the 1930s. And it seemed real physically that our brain are larger than even our grandparents, and I mean great grandparents. And the study showed this could be attributed to better health, system better health, and then the more educational opportunities. And this is the report that come out on this on Science Day. Will this trend continue? That would be my challenge. Are we getting our brain bigger and bigger? Does that mean we are smarter? That's the question I'm going to ask. My quick answer is we are still stupid as stupid does, right? I mean, this my favorite movie, Forrest Gump, is always like that. So I don't think that the larger brain, more surface area, translates to more knowledge or learn from our knowledge, and that's my personal view. If I compare human learning with machine learning, we know that machine learning never get bored, tired. The AI era come out, everybody talking about this topic. Now, at least that we know is gradually replacing our human learning, our humans in many ways. Kind of dangerous to me. And I want to talk in another perspective. Is the human learning why we are not as efficient as the machine learning? Just a simple question like that. The simple answer is that because we have suffered from this so-called information entropy, because our learning is organic, we can easily bloated and choked. And what do you mean by information entropy? Is it real? That's the next page I'm going to explain to you that it is real. So the takeaway is that with it's not how much you eat, it's how much you absorb. Pretty much means that it's not how much a teacher can teach, it's how much a student can absorb. Okay, that's pretty much intrinsically that's what it meant. So let's get to the bottom of this. What is information entropy? This term is coined by Shannon, who pretty much the whole idea is that he find out that there's an overhead in transmitting any information. People talk about that's the demons at work. And that clearly is a Maxwell demons. And I would argue that Shannon juxtaposed Maxwell demons with noise, come out with the Shannon limits. So it actually has a formula. The channel capacity is equal to the number of channel times the bandwidth, and then we take a log in the base of 2, the signal to noise ratio. All right, so this is mathematically what he meant by a Shannon theory or Shannon limits. Okay. And I will put this equation to a test later, explain how it's calculated. But this come with a more easy to understand example to show you what I meant. Here it's on the right-hand side is the noise level of the world, cities. India, Mumbai is number one. It's so noisy that it's over 100 decibels, okay? And Madrid is 45, kind of quiet. I was in Buenos Aires, it says 85. I think it's not that noisy, okay? But you can see that imagine if we are sitting in a cafe, in a noisy cafe in these cities, what do you do? How do you communicate to your friend? You can easily quickly find out that you either made a mistake by speaking too fast, or people cannot hear you, or you have to speak louder but slower, right? This means that the noise impedes your transmission rate. So your data, the idea you want to convey to your friends, it won't be easy. But I'm Chinese, and we're fully aware that in a restaurant, we have to speak louder. In order to speak louder, you have to speak slower. So the content that can be absorbed by the audience will be limited. Sometimes they cannot hear what they say, right? That's what we always had that feeling. Translating to Maxwell demon is that the Maxwell demon impedes your communication. And that's something to learning, right? And I would argue that happen in all kinds of communications, especially the education especially communication in the education in the current top-down style communications educations. Now, teachers try to dump you a lot of materials, and you have a hard time absorbing it, digesting. That's pretty much what I meant. And if we use this, the Shannon Limit give us quantify. He can actually quantify what's happening. Let me give an example. A transmission line has a spec of 20 dB. This is noise level. And it has a 20 megahertz bandwidth. Then the question asked is that, can this transmission line can be used for 100 bits per second? It's usually what we have at home, or even 150. Now that's the question I'm asking, right? And this is a spec from the transmission line, from the router that we bought, and this is the result. You simply put all this data to this formula, right? Signal SNR is signal to noise ratio, 20 dB. That means that the signal noise is 100. And you put this number in, right? And then this is your bandwidth is 20. And then you have one channel 1. So you put this into this formula. You can easily calculate. The result is 133 megabits per second. That means that answers your question, that this line you have at home can do 100 megabit per second, but it cannot do 150. So that's how simple is that. The Shannon limit actually gives you a formula to calculate. But my question for you is that, can this be used in human learning? This is great Shannon. He's playing his mouse. I can't hear. Shannon limit gives a quantity, an error-free communication rate quantity under a noise, the signal noise ratio. And if you use the same formula, and then you increase the noise ratio, then you'll find out the number will be changed significantly, all right? And so this Shannon quantified the true communication capacity that can be transmitted in an error-free manner. What about human nature? How about human learning? Human learning is more about quality of integrating new information with existing one, rather than simply the quantity of information stored. Right? He has to integrate them and absorb them. It's difficult, of course, for, for us to find out, to calculate the, uh, the, the exact impact of Shannon limit. We know it's there, but we do feel it's big, right? Imagine if you go to a class in a noisy classroom and teacher try to teach you something, of course you know you won't be able to learn much. Or if it, the teacher without comprehending your learning capability and start to teach a lot of material at the same time in a short period of time, you will easily get lost. All right. So this is I would call Shannon limit in human learning. It truly exists. So my conclusion is that education is not how much you teach; it's how much it sticks, how much it can be retained by students. And I would say too much top-down information is noise. It's very noisy. It's a small Maxwell demons. And Shannon limit is real. You cannot quantify exactly how much it is in human learning, but I would think that it can be dealt with. And that's the proposal I'm coming up in my following talks. Let me give you a little bit further by describing A absorption and AB absorption, these two physical phenomena. I'm a material scientist. So I always like to compare a real thing with something I like to talk about. Right? The adsorption is particles stick to the surface. Right? It doesn't go in. And AB absorption, here, particle go into, through the interface, go into the bulk beneath it. So I would argue that this is just like a right way of education, and this is a wrong way of education. And our history, we've been taught in a classroom for thousands of years. This is what we usually practice, right? It's superficial and very ineffective. That teacher dumped a lot of information, and most of the time we doze off. We cannot digest, right? For various reasons. And AB's option, on the other hand, is what we want from the education. That whatever dumped to us, it could go through it and digest it. This is what we want, but this is what we get. So we get AD's option, which is bad, and we try to reach AB's option. Can we get that in the education system in a new AI era? That's the question. That's the challenge. And I would propose that yes, we can. By using AI as a tool and with the PE and FN, Protégé effect, and Feynman method, and divide by, driven by the juxtaposition, the technique. I would try to explore more about this aspect. That's my recommendation. Why I recommend that then? Well, in the AI era, whole human information, I would argue, is on a pinhead at your fingertip. All right. And it's not yet there, but it's getting there. So the whole human information, whole human knowledge can be confined to a very small hard drive or in a cloud or somewhere, right? I would argue it's on a pinhead. And it's absolutely at your fingerprints in this AI era. If you know how to ask a question, you'll get what you want. It's too much info if you don't know how to deal with it. But again, if you have too much and you don't know how to deal with that too much information, it's useless. It's noise. Let me, based on that and explore a little bit, the newest research, not exactly new, 2015, is research suggested that all civilization knowledge could fit into a few cubic meters inside DNA liquid and store for eternity. So a little bit drop, right? A little bit drop can store, the whole database of Facebook or Instagram at that time. And this is 2015, right? The whole he already foresaw that human knowledge can be stored in such a small body, just a few cubic meters. So this is happening. And in contrast, let's look at something more interesting. There's a very interesting story about how many angels can dance on a pinhead anyway. Right? I was arguing that the whole human information is on a pinhead. And actually, this is a question being asked, a metaphor for wasting time debating topics of no practical value. That time, the in the middle medieval time, a scholar would argue about some religious stuff forever, back and forth. And that's a famous one of the statements, kind of a metaphor. But people don't take it, but people take it seriously. Right? There's a very interesting magazine I'm going to introduce you called Improbable. Quantum mechanics, the physicist actually calculated. He said the angel density, it calculates using quantum mechanics, is E14, E50. This amount I calculate exactly. And that before I let you go, I will show you something. The reason I mention this, in ancient time, there are too few people. You have only a Bible to study. You don't have other knowledge. And so you take the Bible word by word and try to decipher it, a million times. And then you discuss forever. And what happened? Okay, what happened? That's actually the original university. This kind of useless but intense discussion that led to the formation of university. Right? Yeah, actually, uh, it was beginning debating about how many, discuss about what this Bible text means, and then you could talk about this means forever, and that you discuss very few information forever, and that actually uh, is the source, is the foundation of universities that people organize, that the king will give you some space, some room, and then the monk can get together and study, talk about Bibles, right? And that's that time. See, that time, intensive discussion on limited information was a thing. That really was a thing, right? And that's what teaching was about that time. So your focus, you discuss something meaningless, seemingly meaningless. Now, to them, that's very real, right? It was a thing. But nowadays, what happens? With too many data, too many distractions, actually, it prohibits us from true learning because of Shannon Limit. Because too much information are noise, are the background of noise. If you cannot digest it properly, it will stop you from learning anything new, right? Because the Shannon limit is a physical phenomenon for any transmission line. And I argue that it also exists in the transmission line from our knowledge, right? When we try to pass down information here, we will be bottlenecked by the Shannon limit for sure. And so this is so breaking the Shannon limits. How do we break them? In human learning is what I propose. We need to have a lot of AI. We need to learn this Protégé effect with a Feynman method in the classroom, and I juxtapose them to high-stakes talent job. Okay, that's my proposal. And let me go through detail one by one exactly what I meant. I would like to stress more that teaching everything is counterproductive. If you teach everything to the students, from chapter one to chapter 100, and then in a textbook, I think that is counterproductive because the AI coming out, it facilitates learning on any given subject at your fingertip. You don't need to dump your laundry list, chapter one to chapter 20. You need to begin something, but you should not end it with everything. That's my uh, thought process. And the first thing I want to introduce, remember, I would say that I want to say AI plus PE plus the FM, The PE is the protege effect. Protege effect is this. When you learn something with intention to teach it later, you learn it differently and deeper, right? You look at this pyramid of learning. This is what we have lecture. The teacher lecture the students, say, hey, this is what you need to learn, and you go read it, all right? You might be put onto a earphone and listen to what teacher said without dozing off, lucky you. And then, oh, you could do some demonstration, fine, right? You run some experiment. As I would teach as a TA, I taught students how to run experiment, you know. And then, oh, you have a group discussion, great. You seem to understand more. And then actually practice doing it. There's a system that, okay, I'm showing how to use this wrench, and you go do it. Oh, okay, now I know how to do it. And you will see that the effectiveness of learning is increasing as we go down the pyramid. The average retention rate go from very inefficient. You just listen, take lecture. 90% of the time you doze off. You doze off. I would doze off too. Even teacher tends to doze off, right? And then they go down more and more hands-on, say, oh, it's getting more and more effective. But the most effective one is the last one. When you learn with the ending goal that you need to teach someone else, if you have that mentality in mind, that gives you so many benefits because you're learning more deeply, and it will review gaps in your knowledge because you need to teach someone else. And when you try to explain certain phenomena to somebody else, you say, wait a minute, are you sure that the audience understand what I'm talking about? And that will change the way you're learning. So wait a minute, there's a detail I need to go deeper, understand, I need to digest 100% before I can give it to someone else. And social impact, right? This is the other one I'm not mentioning here, but it actually has many other benefits if you improve your protege effect by learning, by try to learn something with teaching others in mind. This mentality change will change everything. Social impacts that is spinning the peer pressure in a positive manner. I find out that when I was learning something, or I find out when I teach my kids to learn something, they although not very happy about it. And I find out when they are trying to learn something, my teenager kids always, subconsciously comparing with their peers. If their peer doing it, they will do it. If the peer are not doing it, they won't do it. That's a peer pressure. I imagine, but that's actually kind of negative. You have to be pressured by something in order to learn. That pressure is negative. People easily get into depression if they cannot keep up. But this way, you learn by teaching but you learn by with a mindset they're going to teach someone else. They're actually going to do that too. You're going to practice it. That's spinning in a positive manner. Because when you try to explain something to someone else, you actually love them. If you hate them, you won't explain, right? So it will spread your love immediately. That's positive manner. And you have more fun in class. And teachers don't have to do too much work, right? The bottom line is that we're asking teacher to do a lot of material, a lot of research, and try to, spend all his time, try to, condense them and try to eventually teach the students. It's a lot of work. I totally understand that. I'm a professor right now, and preparing class materials is tedious and a lot of work. Imagine somebody tell me that, yeah, it can be alleviated. It can be less work. Okay, you're for it, right? And then they also tell me that not only your less work, but it's also more effective. Oh, wow, that's really something. So let's go on and keep exploring this. A little bit more exploring project effect using AI. All right. The one I'm using is called Perplexity AI. Perplexity. And you could easily download it. And then I'm just going to type this word, the protege effect. And this is what it come out. All right. wow, this is a reference, very neatly picture of each reference you mentioned. And it actually summarized everything for me. It's a metacognitive processing on this fancy psychological word. Just means that it actually help you think in a way that it's more organized and it's much better. It motivates you. It asks you to take more responsibility because you need to teach someone else. And it's very effective. And then there's money, a lot of benefits, right? So this tool already did a lot of work for me, right? So somebody imagine throw a subject to me, or I need to type out the key. All I need to do is type in the keyword. I get immediately a lot of information organized for me, and then without neat reference. The reference is neat. ChatGPT on the way is not that powerful. Sometimes it gives you sometimes it give you a wrong reference. And ChatGPT and Perplexity AI pretty accurate. Of course, its conclusion may not be accurate. Let's be fair, right? All AI in this large language model per se is try to pertaining to your question. You assume what you say is correct, and then try to give you anything they can find that meets your demand, or even try to fit the conclusion you already made. So that one you need to be careful with. And so, but at least it's a good tool. It gives you all these nice, all these nice reference. And if you go in, they actually are there. Okay. And then so I click everything, anything here. Wow, right? The Protégé effect, how you can learn by teaching someone else. That's what it's all about. Imagine in an earlier time that before this AI, if I want to do this, I will go to Google search, and then it will give me a lot of reference. But definitely, it will not give me the summary, right? But here in AI, they will do some homework for you already. A lot of homework, not just a little. And actually, it will also help to answer the question, how can I apply the Protégé effect to improve my learning for a coming exam? Wow. If I even ask a question I don't know that I can ask, right? It's very smart. So this is, you can go deeper, right? And then open it up, and then it give you more learning, pretty much. The whole human knowledge at your fingertip. That's exactly what I just said, previous said, right? It is true. In AI era, the whole human information is on a pinhead at your fingertip. Figuratively speaking, it's a small one. Previously, in ancient time, we had too few information, but now we have so many informations at our fingertip. Of course, it could be very noisy. You were right; it could be very noisy, and that's we need to clean it up, right? So the protege effect give us a lot of step by uh, that already the importance cannot be emphasized enough. Right? Teaching others with this mind, with this in mind, and when you try to learn, you got a better, more effective learn. And the method, Feynman method, this great guy who's in the Manhattan Project, he said that if you want to be very effective in, so you know the project, but you want to teach someone else, right? That you already have that in mind. Yes, teach someone else a 90% retention rate, the best. But how do you do exactly? How do you actually do it? Actually do it is by Feynman method. He said that you choose a concept with the with the mindset to teach a toddler. And then you say, oh, wait a minute. Can I do that? Can I explain my quantum mechanics to a toddler? And if I have to do that, what do I do? And then so you identify the gap and you made up something. You prepare some material and you review it and you teach a toddler. And then the toddler don't understand. So you have to change it again. You have to simplify it again. to make them understand. So the whole concept is that you choose a subject and try to teach an outsider who's not familiar with your field, but you have to explain to them that in a language that they do understand. With that thought process, you learn deeply. And that's the whole idea. Okay, that's the whole idea. So to summarize that, the philosophy of my class in this, or any class in this AI era, is that we use AI to enhance your capacity and capability. Two things, right? It enhance your capability for sure. And capability-wise, you need to do some work. Okay. Capacity means that you can grapple more information by just simply asking smart questions to AI. They will help you to get all information, all the 2,000 years information that inside the internet. And I would like to mention that Feynman method and Protégé effect are your best friends because you have information now and you want to use it. You need to learn in a way that you try to teach someone else and using the Feynman method. On top of that, I would recommend juxtapose everything. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Okay. Before I let you go, I would like to introduce you. There's some people doing it already. Let's look at who did that. This is the magazine I just mentioned about, the improbable research. The Annals on Improbable Research. It's trying to about research that make people laugh and think. This is amazing tool, amazing concept. The tool is not there yet, but it's amazing concept. All right, that give us a new dimension about how to learn and how to basically how to teach. The how to learn by teaching in a way. Previously, we said that, remember, I mentioned that there's a guy who look at his problem. How many angels can dance on a pinhead? Oh, he calculated. And let's see his thesis, right? Uh, this is thesis by Andrew Sandberg in this magazine, 107. And then in Sweden, he calculated. He's a quantum gravitational tree. Oh my God. So he's arguing this and that. He actually simulated and eventually he calculated, right? Discussion. He calculated. He find out that's the answer. So I actually calculated. So, but why he would do such a thing, such a, you know, such thing, that's the whole purpose of this magazine. And this magazine even published the Nobel Prize, 2024 ceremony. Right? This, they also give it to someone who could really make people laugh. Okay. And then at the same time, it's in MIT. It's coming. It's coming September 12th in MIT. I wish I could go there and then see who's got nominated and who won. Who, and and that's a great thing to learn from. And I hope one day we can all go there. And we can actually could you go this go to you could buy this uh, any issue that's been published, and you can see how humorous these scientists really are. We're not just geeks. We are pretty, we're smart in our own way in terms of making people laugh. And at the same time, you say, wait a minute, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's exactly what I can show you later with my own one. All right. So I'll show you the philosophy of this class on my class. Okay. I've been teaching that already for the last semester, and I'm going to enhance it further. So my simple class design is like this. I have a lecture. I usually arrange a 3-hour lecture. This has to be a long one. We cannot dissect it. The reason is that the class is 1 hour lecture plus 2 hour student presentation. I only do 1 hour. Didn't I mention that the teacher work will be less? I do not prepare 3 hour lecture content. I prepare only 1 hour. And then the rest is 2 hours student presentation. So what do you mean by that? What I meant is that the homework is a PowerPoint you generate to teach your classmate about a given subject, which I presented to you last week. Your job is to use AI to study the topic you pick, which I collected. No, we talk about something, right? I would give you small topics. After the presentation, after the 1 hour lecture, I will give you 10 topics, 10 topics for you to choose from. And then you pick a topic or you assign a topic by TA, and then you go use AI to study it. And then you present them in front of your classmen using juxtaposition. You have to present it. And then use AI to improve your hard and soft skill. So that's a whole idea of class. You see that 1 hour lecture, 2 hour student presentation. And student presentation is their homework. There's no point assigning any traditional homework that computation or doing or writing a thesis. That's all completely useless. In the current AI, student can copy paste your question and put into AI. They will solve it for you. They will write a thesis. They will do detailed calculation, at your fingertip. So I'm keep coming back that all the whole human information on your fingertip. It's on a pinhead at your fingertip. So there's no point of signing a homework that demands some simple calculation or even some explanation in a written format. It's completely useless. Okay, to me, because it could cheat the system easily. An expectation of this class is this. You pick a topic on the list by the lecture. That one is rigid, right? Because I'm talking about a certain topic. And then and that will assign small topics relevant to the subject I was lecturing about. And then you use that AI tool to extend the topic. And you prepare and just depose a 5 to 10 minutes PowerPoint. And using Designer. This is very hands-on, right? Using Designer in the Office 365. And as if you present to your colleague and boss in the future. Your goal is to solidify a crisp and interesting story to your target audience using juxtaposition and Feynman techniques, Feynman methods. As if they are laymen, they don't know what you're talking about in your own field. You are the expert in your own field, but other people are not, right? So you need to teach your audience that manner, and you presenting them, and then the scoring end is you score some of the people using SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey is just a technical thing. We'll use SurveyMonkey to tally your scores, and then use the Olympic tool to get rid of bias. If some of your classmates hate you, give you a very low score, or somebody like you too much, give you a very high score, those are excluded. Okay, so let's be fair, right? And the expected outcome, EO, I learned from Intel. I would like you to learn all the relevant input, all the AI tools, which I'm going to give you later. And you'll be able to avoid giggle, garbage in, garbage out from the AI tool applied. AI tools are there to help you, but you cannot be dominated by them. You need to go deeper. Okay. You understand issues from the fundamentals of material science and EE, because I'm teaching a science a material, teaching power devices. And so you need to understand the topic from the fundamentals that makes sense to you. Everything has to make sense, right? From the real life or from the material science or WE perspective. And then you need to explore the world outside more to expand your horizon. Okay, that's my expected outcome one. And I would like you to have fun doing independent research using AI tools on any given topic. You should not limit yourself to be only focused on your narrow field. Because in the new AI era, what you learn may not be useful at all in the future for your real job. You need to be quickly able to learn something new and then be quickly become an expert, a content expert, right? And that's what you need to be to be able to survive in the future world. And you should be able to present a crisp presentation to convince your classmate, your future colleague, your boss, your customers that you're good at what you're doing. How do you do that? Guys, juxtaposition. So eventually you become a competent, right? A competent, independent, and competent. All these three together, a consultant in your biz. That's your end goal. Okay. And when you're approaching it, I would like you to be curious and ask many quiet questions in the AI will help you to explore. And they are your AI is your best friend. I understand why. But you have to keep a critical thinking mindset, right? Don't be fooled by them. And how to improve your hard skill. Again, you ask many questions and you expand your knowledge base using AI and current news media. That definitely you need to do that. And you look at the subject from a bird's eye view. You don't want to go too deep in technical detail immediately. You need to look at from higher above. That's your hard skill. That's your vision, hard skill. How to improve your soft skill? Of course, you have to, prepare your PPT. Just use Designer. Any other fancy material like Canva or Beautify, they're all great. But for students, let's do one thing at a time. Let's do design. And tell a compelling and crisp story about a topic with an audience in mind. Critique your own PowerPoint. And in my class, you have 15 times to practice your verbal training in class, right? As I mentioned here, my simple class design is that the 1 hour lecture and 2 hour students. The whole semester, I had about less than 20 classes. Exclude exam, at least you have 15. Even include exam. Exam could be just another professor, another institute, okay? Uh, institute 1 hour preparation, 2 hour presentation. It can be that way too. So you have more than 15 times of preparing and presenting your material. So that's what I meant. And so first thing first. So what AI tool I can use? AI plus PE plus FM. I'm going to introduce all these four later, one step at a time. Let's do AI tool. All right. AI tool, you already saw Perplexity AI. Okay. So let's give example. Perplexity AI to find the info. I'm teaching power devices. So I'm asking this question. What is the most recent review paper on gallium nitride and silicon carbide? Okay. So this is what I type in. This is what I type. The most recent review paper on gallium nitride and silicon carbide power devices. As we student, I was a research student at Berkeley before, right? When I want to do something, the first question I'm going to use, what's the most recent review paper that people have done? So I can save my time, right? I don't want to go to the library right now, just flip through all kinds of journals, try to find anything relevant. I did that for weeks, and that is very painful and slow. So I just type in these words, and this is what I give you. Wow, give me this paper, review now of the gallium nitride. Okay, it give me that paper. So this is find out, right? So this is paper like review and outlook on the gallium nitride silicon carbide power devices. And so, oh, okay, good. I download it. I download it. But before I download it, well, what happened then? I found the info I'm looking for, and I'm going to expand the info with this additional, this another one, AI. After I found a paper that interesting to that of interest to me, I will open connected papers, right? And then let me show you what I meant. So I go to the connected papers and I type in review and outlook on this paper. Is the name is review and outlook on gallium nitride silicon carbide power devices, which I got it. I remember, which I got it from the Perplexity AI, which showed me, oh, this is the most recent one that's been published, beginning of this year, very new, fresh out. So okay. So I then found this paper on Connected Papers, and I click it. And these people give me beautiful bubble graph. The bubble graph tell me the relationship between this paper and other papers. The size of the first of all is the time, all right? The direct relationship, and this paper relates to other one. Yeah, give me bubble graph, and the bigger the bubble means that the more important it's being referenced. And any paper, and it give me, for example, this paper, all right? This paper, for example, all right? This paper that's interest to me, it has a PDF file. You can open it directly. Or he has a DOI, or it's Google Scholar, or the Semitic Scholar. So all these information are listed here. This one you can open right away, right? So all these are ready for you. And here is all the part paper related to it. You see that the relationship between this paper and other paper that refer to this paper are demonstrated in this one. And you see the bigger circle one, meaning that's more important because more people refer to it. The smaller one, that nobody cares, right? So this is a beautiful tool for you to use. And imagine, I remember when I was a grad student in Berkeley, this type of information would take me weeks to get. I need to find out, I need to ask around, I need to go to journals in every one of them that are relevant to my field and try to find a good review paper. Even the Google, even using Google will be difficult, will take time to build this one. This one's visually so strong. Right? Even Google can help you this, but there's no way to generate anything like that, right? How do you know what is relevant one? That is very important. That relevant to this the review paper at hand. At hand. So here it demonstrates that very clearly. And this is the beauty of connected papers. So okay, I expanded and then look at a paper. Now I want to go to deep dive. So okay, fine. You got the paper you want. This is the paper we're looking for. Review and outlook in gallium nitride. Okay. And this is one I want to analyze. Should I go bury myself in a library or in my bedroom and then study word by word? Well, you could do that, of course. But at the same time, if there are 10 people like this, do you have time? Probably not. So this is where other tool can come in to help. Look at this paper. Look at this tool. You open it with a pen. With a pen here. This is Edge. He has that Copilot open for you. So, and then when you open it, you will start to read the paper for you. Say, generate document summary. Okay. And then this is, all right. It give you something that give you a quick review of what this problem is about. All right. So, and I keep asking many questions. He's comparing this gallium nitride versus silicon carbide, right? What are the advantages of gallium nitride over silicon carbide? And that's interesting, because the Elon Musk last year just announced that he would limit his use of silicon carbide and focus on gallium nitride. Well, then why gallium nitride has more advantage? That's interesting. So he would use his paper and try to explain that to you. Maybe not correct. Don't trust every word of it, but you have to put every phrase here with a grain of salt, and you have to validate by yourself. Are they true? But at least it give you a hint, give you something to work on, right? So this is what, what Bing can do for you. And what about other tool? Oh yeah, there's many other tools that can help you do that. For example, this one, like, is science-based copilot. It's not Beam Copilot. It's called a science-based copilot. Let's see what you can do. I go to the link I just mentioned, and then you upload your paper, and then you look at this paper. Oh, that's a different paper now because this paper has equations. Wait a minute, I don't understand these equations. I have some knowledge, but I don't understand. Can somebody help me? Well, of course, you can call your professor and call your best buddy who's very knowledgeable and ask them this question. Then imagine the hassle you have to go through. That's not instant, right? Your friend may not be around. You talk to your professor and you need to make appointment. You just have no time. And you don't want them to ask you and talk about these stupid questions. You might have 10 questions, right? And they have no time to answer all of them. But here they can help you. Okay. You highlight it and then you open it. And then you see he will help you understand the equation. So what is the equation about? And then you go through this. We break it down, the symbols, what it means, one by one. What more do you want, right? You know, and he asks questions for you. So this means that anything you want to ask in this here, Bin will not let Bin Copilot won't let you do that, but this one can do that. And this question I don't understand, so I highlight it, explain the text, and then it will do that for me, right? It will do that for me in a clean and systematic manner, and then help me to move ahead. All these very detailed information that which I understand. I don't need to talk to anybody else, and that's the beauty of this tool. Right? It helps you to explain your math and tables, or even tables. By the way, if you have table, they will analyze the table for you. Oh my God. Well, what about other tools? Yeah, the ChatGPT is very popular, and it's a pretty good one too. Let me show you what I meant. Uh, this tool, ChatGPT, this tool, uh, I asked them to analyze the PDF of TSMC patterns. He did a very nice job. You know, he asked for me what it is because if you read any IP paper, any the patent paper, it's so difficult to read. They were doing a language that is beyond easy comprehension. They make it vague, make it you have to read a lot of be in that field. I wrote 30 patents, I know. They tweak my word into a legal words. I have hard time understanding it. Right now, of course, that's much better, but still, I didn't need help. Imagine if I need to read 10, 100 patents, that would be a nightmare. But now I use ChatGPT, who will give me a quick summary and then go a little bit deeper if I want. I can communicate with the patents, right? The content of the patent with a ChatGPT. And that's nice. Elicit. Elicit is another one. That's interesting. Okay. And you could pick any paper that you upload or find for them. All right. And then you will analyze it for you. It even can extract data for you. Used to be, remember, we had to use a pencil and chalk it down, take a picture. If I have a figure to copy from, I copy and paste, right? And then try to analyze it. And that's what we used to do in a grad student. But right on, they do it for you. And what they do for you. And so that's elicit. Consensus is another one, right? And then he understand he has many papers available for you to analyze. You analyze many things at the same time. You analyze 4 paper, 5 paper, 20 paper at the same time. And find a commonality among them. You know, that's what you do as a graduate. Remember, your professor throw you a lot of papers as to read it, comprehending it, and then you have to go one by one and then try to find something inside that's relevant to your subject. They did it for you now. They're doing it for you. Wow. Right. That's amazing. Of course, you have to pay some money, of course. But I think a lot of places a student can't get it for free. Okay. And then what about other places? If you are not students, you're outside, and then you want to learn something. You want to get a paper. They are open free resources that you can get paper for free. Okay, so this one's a science hub. Okay, that you could type your DOI or anything, they will come up for you for free. Because many times you cannot get the paper through IEEE Explore database. That's kind of I don't know why you cannot do that. But that's the argument, right? The guy says that why you need to pay? It's all tax dollar supported research. Why you need to pay to get a paper from the result generated by tax dollars? Does not make sense, which I totally agree. The NS archive is another one that do the same thing, similar thing. They just have a different database. Here is 99 million. Wow. So ScienceDB. Okay. So there you had to go, at least here you could go find out. And then the DOAJ is another one, open global trusted. He has journal articles. He had 10 million article record. He had 20,000 journals. So all these are there. And then the unpaid wall, that's another one that they claim at 50 million. Wow, that's even more. And then, of course, we're all familiar with ResearchGate. This ResearchGate that we find many papers that even uploaded by the author themselves. They want to themselves be well known, right? So they did it themselves, and then you could find many interesting papers. I'm a member as well. And then the Z library. GW is so many controversy. They give you, you find uh, a lot of books, journals everywhere. So you need to dig out detail by yourself. But my point is this: there are free or paid servers that show that the data is simply unlimited. Okay, the uh, the one we talk about many times in this era. The whole human being information is on the pinhead at your fingerprint and your fingertip. It's true. There's too much information. And I'll show you AI tool how to get them quickly and easily. But still, you need to digest them, right? You need to digest them. I show you that you better use the Protégé effect with the intent to teach someone else that mindset and with a Feynman technique to do so by trying to teach to not exactly a toddler, but someone who are not in your field. With this mindset and technique in mind, then you could really uh, do something easy. And so, key message is that it's easy to locate your designated input. Right, so at your fingertip, the information is there. The accuracy is not bulletproof though. Additional validation by going into the actual reference is needed, that's for sure. As a caveat, you need to carry with you. And question our help. And the bottom line is easy to locate. So the bottleneck of obtaining information is not there. And so let's move on. So AI, we already go through details. Many tools I introduce you. And then I think appreciate the abundance of the information out there. And it's so easy to get. Right? That's the key message. Then the Protégé effect by Feynman method, we also mention that. Yeah, you just have the mindset of trying to teach someone else. And then you use the Feynman method, simplify your message. Keyword is to simplify your message. Once you do that, that's a process of digesting your information to avoid the Shannon limit. Now I'm going to the last portion, juxtaposition. What do I mean? What do you mean by that? Right? I said that it's your best friend. for your project effect and Feynman methods enhancing. You need to practice this. Okay. And it's been doing in art form a lot. Juxtaposition, enhance project effect, and more. Juxtaposition means that position object X near an object Y. Justa in the Latin means that next to, pose is a position, right? To place. And look at this famous picture, painting. See, all these two objects sitting right by side, very, very good contrast. This tall and big tree with the branches are clearly uh, um, very detailed branches, and this one is a white ball. The size, the contrast, so clear and visually stunning. Right? He's come up from the Oregon University. It's not opposition. He's trying to say it's not an opposition. Okay, it's just a position in a way that's make this picture stands out. What is the power of that then? The power of just a position is that just like our left brain and right brain, they work differently. Your job, after you get easy obtain unlimited amount of information, that kind of noisy because it's too many out there. Once you distill down to something at hand, and your job is to juxtapose selectively and creatively the info you find with the intent to teach an outsider with a captivating story. That's what the PE is about, right? PE and Feynman together. And then the techniques to juxtapose. Let me give you juxtapose examples. The showcases of juxtapositions. The first one, matrix. We all know that Matrix is a cartoon manga show from Japan, right? It juxtaposes AI with a bad dream, pretty much. Everything in the dream, in the AI, right? So pretty much that's what we're all about. So that's one famous example. And look at Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series is obviously, to me, a juxtaposition of Western mythology in the boarding school. He put a lot of Western mythology, myths, strange creatures, and then put it into a boarding school. Imagine how exciting it is when you sit in her class to learn about something this. For example, what's this? In Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets, Professor Sprout teaches second year herbology students how to report young mandrakes. This plant is somewhat animal-like. When you cannot, he squeaks a lot. When he screams, you cannot hear it. You should not hear it. If you hear it, you'll be probably dead. Right? That's the one of the myths related to the mandrakes. I will show you my own interpretation later about the mandrakes. Right? Imagine how exciting you will be when you are herbology students, right? And then that's what it's all about. Well, you say you are talking about this some myths. There's no real world example. Oh, that's not true. Let me show you. Babbage. Charles Babbage is inspired by Laplace's idea to be one of the world's first computers. Laplace demon. Laplace demon is a causal determinism, power of omniscience, foresight, and prediction. If you the dream that's by juxtapose big data with simple mechanical, all right, and that's by juxtaposing big data with simple mechanical tools. That's what Charles Babbage figured out. He juxtaposed Laplace demon to give the world first computer. He said that the big data can be manipulated with a simple mechanical tool. This is a simple mechanical computer that he designed. One of the world's first computers. All right, so that's interesting. What about others? You ask. Well, look at Leibniz. Leibniz, the one who invented calculus, I think is better than the Isaac Newton. He had a crash on Chinese culture and technology since age 20. And then his friend gave me this Fuxi 64 hexagram of I Ching, the book of change, I Ching. You can see that? And then he said, oh, he's intrigued by that. And in later, his letter, and then it's a biography based on his story. His zero one binary arithmetics, the foundation of modern computing, right? The binary system, which he invented, but he perfected by looking at this picture. Right? This is Chinese I Ching. It's kind of a an ancient time of predicting the future with all kinds of probability. And then the 64 in this picture. And he confessed that his binary system is perfected by it. Okay, so I would argue that Leibniz juxtaposed I Ching with binary system. So what about others? Oh yeah, there's many. Calculate. This is a benzene ring. He had a dream. He didn't know how to write the this benzene chemical formula. And then he find out he one day he had a dream about a snake. He daydreamed about a snake seizing his own tail. He said, "Wow, that's it." He juxtaposed benzene link with snake in his dream. That's a famous story. Okay. And then this dream gave new doors to organic chemistry. Okay. So anything else you want to tell me? Oh yeah. Remember the the Nobel Prize winner Marie Curie. He listened to his colleague Max Planck talking about the revolution idea about the energy quanta. She immediately started to think of the new demon, analog to Maxwell's, who could manipulate the packets of radiation energy. That's the foundation of quantum mechanics. These demons are manipulating quanta. Juxtapose demon with quanta, right? And recently, Japanese, there's a plasma scientist. He uh, he said she found a new way of manipulating plasma for fusion, juxtaposition art with science. He find out that this is Japanese law kintsugi. Kintsugi is that this is a beautiful vase. He will break them intentionally and then seal it back, seal the imperfection back with golds. And that the new form coming out is much prettier, more art form than the original vase, right? So that's his one. And the other one is so many, right? Just the Golden Angel, Einstein, and Higgs boson. His bosons, Higgs boson is the Gauss particle, right? In demons, you have Descartes demons, Maxwell demons, Laplace demons, all these great thinkers. It juxtaposes demons with science, and that gives us the birth of current science. And a little bit more about this Japanese art of kintsugi that inspired this plasma. The idea is that a plasma, when it's formed, the plasma is difficult to have a uniform plasma inside a fusion machine. And he find out, and because the fusion machine always has some imperfections in his plasma field, the material that combine the plasma. And he figured out if you know you can utilize them to balance to improve the stability of the plasma. Usually a defect would destroy the plasma. But he figured a way if you could utilize the imperfection, you could actually improve the stability of the plasma to move human fusion one more step ahead. Right, so that's how he's finding. The magnetic field falls can be a good thing, just like the art here. The new fix by the gold line here that here to the broken vase together, it turned out to be more valuable than the original vase or gold. Okay. So that's the example I give you. Well, I told you, what about my own? What about my juxtapositions? I have some of you I would like to share with you. For example, I will argue that the electron holes, the energy band gap is from yin and yang. If you look at the yin and yang picture, the Tai Chi picture, is Chinese view of how nature works. Okay, and you look at the forbidden band, the semiconductor band gap diagram. They align the hole and electrons. Hole are the electron that coming that removed from the valence band, jump to the conduction band, just like this, right? In this dark area, there's a white spot. It was here. It was that the black was here and moved in here, and that's Chinese Tai Chi. That exactly the same thing to me. And I would like to introduce you the concept. I will further introduce you the Bankit concept that Chinese way of looking at things is that all things in nature have yin and yang. Its nemesis constrained by life force. All right. Everything has to balance. They're fighting with you. Again, not a fighting, a collaborative, in a manner that will fight each other or restrained by it. So it's constrained by life force. Chinese say 互根. It seems they fight against each other, but at the same time, they seem collaborate. And this is the same thing for electron holes. And it's combined, it's in Chinese, which have arbitrary kind of life force theory, but in the semiconductor physics, it has a real thing. It's constrained by the max action law. This is a max action law that the electron density times the hole density is a constant at a fixed temperature. So it could be one very high and one very small, but the product of them is a constant at a fixed temperature. That is constrained, right? And there are so many similar. So I juxtapose electron hole with the yin. And I also juxtapose another thing. As a TSMC, I'm comparing TSMC, Intel, Samsung, and Japan with the 5 elements. Okay, these 5 elements represent, each one represent different company and country here. I will argue that TSMC is the water. Its color is black because he had the slogan of innovate quietly, meaning that when you want to do something, he already had doing it for a long period of time. And when he announced something he's going to do, he already succeeded, right? It's kind of ocean, quiet black water ocean. Samsung, on the other hand, he will innovate publicly in a very aggressive manner. Say, I want to be number one in the world in 2028. He has a very fiery public announcement, try to beat everybody in the world. So I would say, I would assign him he's a fire. His color is red. Intel had this copy exactly or else in a slogan. Now, everything is copy exactly. Pretty rigid. It's metallic to me. So it's very white. In Japan, Japan is a wood culture, right? Very obvious. Everything they wood furniture, their garden, right? Their temple, they're all wood, representing a wood culture, very clear to everybody. So with this in mind, you look at this. The water go to Japan, go to wood. They were generating interactions. They were generating interactions. And therefore, when TSMC wants to open a fab in Japan, it functioned very quickly, much faster than in Arizona, right? In a record time, they bring the fab up to speed and started producing quickly. And Samsung and TSMC are not getting along because they are water and fire. They don't mix, right? So I could argue that. And recently, Intel want to go to, not Intel, sorry, IBM, also metallic, US, metal. There's so many army. I think it's clear we are assigning metals. IBM want to go to Japan to open a 2 nanometer fab there. Do you think we're successful? Well, gold and wood is overcoming interaction. They are in the red, just like water and fire don't mix. So with this theory, it does not seem to work. Does not seem to be able to work. And recently I got the news that, yeah, it doesn't look good. Does not look good. So that's my juxtaposition. Remember, I juxtaposed another thing. I mean, recalling Harry Potter, that the Mandrake, all right, is how J.K. Rowling, that she juxtaposed the Western mythology with the school, a boarding school. I would do the same thing in a different manner. I would argue that MOSFET as the Mandrake reincarnation. Mandrake means that man, drake is dragon. This Mandrake, Abdullah, uh, Abdullah is devil's testicle. And MOSFET is a reincarnation of Mandrake. That's my juxtaposition. Okay. So why is that? You, you know, you are extrapolating too much. Say, wait a minute. Let me show you why. Look at this. Right? This is a semiconductor, a planar fab. What does that remind you of? Right? This obviously has a male organ to me. And this is, I want to say it in this video, but obviously you can see what it is. It's a main creature. Okay, it's a male dragon. Obvious, it's a main dragon, right? And then if you want to improve the current, what do? You squeeze the ball. That's compressive force. So that's my position of the Mandrake. Okay. Then I will propose just a position homework for you. So I give you a homework. A diamond are forever good for power devices. Diamonds are forever is a song, right? It's a famous song. You could go into YouTube and listen to. So okay, then I go. The first thing you do when I assign my homework to you, say, is diamonds are forever good for power devices? That's the subject, the topic I want you to explore. The first thing, as we know, we go to Perplexity AI. And why want to type in the word diamond wafers? Okay. Okay. I type in diamond wafers. Boom. This is what I show. Single crystal diamond up to 10 inches are available now. Okay. Diamond has many beautiful characteristics. Very large band gap. The world number one in thermal conductivity. Pretty good in electrical insulation because of wide band gap. Okay. And if you can make it work, it's much better than any devices that are known to us. Except you thought it's going to be expensive. Well, let's see. Right. So this is you ask AI to explore information for you. And if you dig deeper, there are many interesting things. Our diamonds are forever. It turns out that mine diamond price are crashing, 10% down in a single day. The beer pay BCG to put out fantasy story about, diamond price. If you go to buy a diamond now and then I want to sell it back to the diamond shop the next day, they will not take it. Right? They will not take it pretty much. They will get a huge markdown. It is no longer work. And then you look at this, data mining productions. You can see that if you go to Statista, you could also find this in your AI tool. You can see that there are abundant of diamonds. So supply definitely outpace demand by many more. And reason more, Mercury has found an 11-mile thick underground layer of diamonds. There's so many diamonds in Mercury, you can get it. 11-mile thick. Oh my God. So you see how useless diamond price will want to be. A diamond wafer are ready. So these are all power devices, right? So CVD diamond wafer prepared by microwave plasma. This company, uh, his company is the Advanced Diamond Technology, diamonds material. They have produced diamonds already. All kinds of coating, all kinds of doping, different color, different variety, by different process technology, and by microwave plasma CVD. That photon dope will be blue, and they have optical gray, mechanical gray, all kinds of different diamond available for you. So it really no point of buying diamond for your girlfriend. If your girlfriend wanna ask for diamond, show them this presentation. Right? Stop it. Okay. Then my homework for you is that Juxtaposed diamond wafer with mercury. Diamond can be used for the ultimate power devices that we know of. Can this be used on mercury? The homework will be, please analyze diamond power devices against mercury harsh environment. That will be my homework, right? Hey, wait a minute. See, had anybody done similar thing like that before? Oh yeah. So just oppose the heaven's temperature. In Book of Isaiah 30:26, it says that, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold as light on 7 days. So if you use this information, and then you could calculate the temperature of the heaven. Heaven received from the moon as much radiation as we do from the sun. So it's 7 is 40 times 9, 49 times. And you use the Stefan Boltzmann law, e to the sigma of 10 to the temperature, absolute temperature of 4, power of 4. Put it together, you find out the heaven temperature versus room temperature to Earth, power of force is 49. You use this information, you calculate the heaven temperature is 194 degrees Celsius. Well, somebody did the house of homework by great teachers. Okay. So you can see that, yeah, you could juxtapose Bible saying and get the heaven's temperature. Obviously, heaven's temperature is pretty hot. Amazing. Okay. I think that at the end of the day, the purpose of education in this AI era to open the third eye. The third eye means that you have another thought, another different thinking. Because everything is in your fingertip. AI provide everything. But the knowledge collected up to now. And then the Protégé effect and Feynman method pretty much give you the right mindset to digest the information in a way that can be very creative. And once you go through the process, go through the juxtapositions, I bet you will understand your material 100 times better. And you will break, right? You definitely will break your the Shannon limit, that the noise around you, because you know how to collect information, you know how to analyze it, and then you know how to deal with it with the proper juxtapositions. Okay, that's my thought process. That's my wild thoughts. Okay. Thank you very much.